Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Excited to have Trinity Baker here, our mindset coach on the show who specializes, with our mindsets. Yes, she works with clients really to harness the power of their mind and mindsets to create that love that they want, step into their fullest potential, be the best they could be, and really create kind of like an inner peace and happiness that all of us do deserve. So first and foremost, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Yeah, I am wonderful, especially because I am here with you.
Yeah, well, it's excited to have you back and to get to see you face to face today. We're live on the Zoom as well as the podcast. So just want to let you guys know I get to see how beautiful she is in person. And we're excited to have you here. Let's just go back a little bit and review what we talked about last week, if you don't remind.
Yeah,
Don't mind.
absolutely. Jill, thank you again for having me here today. I agree. It's so nice to see your face. I feel like we talk to a lot of people and we never get to actually see
I
them.
know.
So, oh, you are just amazing, and I am blessed to be here. So, yeah, just like you said, I am a life coach, and I really use the power of our mindsets in my coaching. So, what I do is I empower my clients to embrace the life that they have and create a life that they love, achieve things that they never thought were possible, create that true inner peace, just like you said, and that true happiness, all using the power of our mindsets. And I do this
Mm-hmm.
through coaching, like you said, one-to-one coaching. That is really my heart. But I'm also a public speaker because I really want to pass this message along to the masses. That is something I am super passionate about. And I also have my gratitude journal, my free 5-day mindset transformation training. And of course, as we all know, can be found right on my website, which is thetrinitybaker.com.
Great. And could you share a little bit of your background and how you realized that you wanted to pursue this field? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Life works in mysterious ways. And if I look back 10 years ago, ooh, I would never thought I'd be here on this call with you, Jill. That's for sure. So I knew I always wanted to help people. I really had this passion for making a difference. I knew that, every single one of us here on earth has some type of ripple with our energy. Like we are either a negative energy or neutral or positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I wanted to be the positive. I knew I
Yeah.
more of those in the world. So the natural thing is to just be like, okay, I'm going to go to school to be a nurse. And so that's what I did. And I worked as a nurse for 10 years. And 95% of those 10 years was feeling super unfulfilled. I wasn't making this huge
Mm-hmm.
impact that I knew I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Um, I did what you typically do, right? Like I jumped around to different fields of nursing. I did psychiatric nursing and I did long-term care nursing, but I found out that that really wasn't ever going to offer me the opportunity that I wanted to make the impact and get the messages that I have, and I want to share with everyone across. So I started to explore some options, and that's really like where that stuck feeling. I have sympathy and empathy for people who feel stuck because it takes courage to say, "Hey, after 10 years of nursing, $30,000 in student debt, how do you say
Yeah.
this is?" Yeah, like so many of my clients come to me in that exact same position. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm here to give you hope. It's okay. We can always press that restart button. But what I did was I just started exploring some options, and within the opportunities I found, it really allowed me to build my skills as a life coach and mentor, and confirmed that is exactly where I need to be and really focusing on the power of our mindset.
Beautiful. And family wise, do you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a wonderful 9-year-old boy who just turned tonight, actually. And whoa, you're a mom, so you know
Yeah,
that.
mine are 6 and 8. I remember you had.
Yeah. And so we hit like that halfway mark, and school pictures came in yesterday, and I'm like, wow, where did this little nugget go that was like just here in my arms, 9 years ago? So, it is so funny because I think as motherhood teaches us a lot, and there's so many lessons within there that we just oversee and we don't pay attention to. And so I love that this is my career and this is what I'm passionate about, because I can really open my mind to like what is every single tantrum or every phase of life that he brings my way here to teach me and him, right? I also have a partner as well, partner of 15 years. And so we've done a lot of life together, almost half of our lives, and I'm just super blessed.
Beautiful. Well, excited to have you here, but let's talk more about mindset. Some people may not even know the concept of it, and let's share a little bit about the power behind mindset and what it could do.
Yeah, absolutely. I was on a call on a podcast the other day with another fellow coach, and she is a relationship coach, and she asked me this question of what is mindset? Because I look back 5 years ago, I didn't even know what mindset meant. I
Yeah.
thought that mindset was like our emotions.
hmm
Are we sad? Are we happy? Are we depressed? Are we anxiety?
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. So mindset coaching is a type of coaching that focuses on using the power of our thoughts. So
Okay.
our thoughts, our perceptions, what are we focusing on? How do we interpret things that happen to us on a daily basis? What people say, the events that happen, how are we interpreting those? Our beliefs, what are our limiting beliefs? What beliefs can we shift to make them empowering
Yeah.
beliefs? And so what I do is I teach techniques that redirect our mindsets to ones that are resilient, mindsets that are solution oriented, reflective on what is happening around us, self aware, and growth focused, because so many of us are not growth focused. So we can't control what happens
Yeah.
around, but we can control what we do with it, what lessons we're taking from it. There are things that happen that we can dwell on or we can learn from them, and that makes us stronger. So guess what? We don't have to go through those lessons again, because life will continue to give us lessons if we're not learning from them.
This is powerful stuff. I love it. As you can see her, the smile on her face, the energy that's radiating. I think you can hear it in her voice. But this is awesome work. So could you provide us a little example or two about how mindset coaching actually does work?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reflecting back on the progress of my clients I've had the pleasure to work on, really thinking about this question. This is a really common question, right? This is something that someone consistently tries to do. So I had this client, right? She wanted to wake up at 5 a.m.
Hmm.
for years. I mean, years she
Ah,
woke up at 5 a.m. But guess what? She kept snoozing the alarm. Like, I don't even know why alarm clocks have snooze buttons. Drives me insane. And a lot of them, you can't even shut that off. So she would snooze her alarm year, year, and year. Okay, so day after day, month after month, week after week. And so what would happen is she'd snooze it. And I'm not talking like a 5 minute snooze. I'm talking like a 30, 45 minute snooze.
wow.
So
You're like,
what happens? Yeah, what happens when we snooze our alarm? Our mornings are chaotic. We still have the same amount of things to do to get ready for the day, but now we have a shorter amount of time. So our days start immediately super chaotic. And
mm-hmm.
so she's running around the house, she's putting her kiddos in a bad mood. She's putting her husband in a bad mood. And then she goes to work. And right from there, it spirals. And I know that many listeners today, because of the clients I have the pleasure of working with, they experience this same thing. And so chaos continues throughout her day.
Ah, yeah.
Her drive to work is chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Her work is chaotic. Her colleagues are just getting on her nerves. She doesn't feel like she's got the time to take lunch breaks or breaks at all. And so then, Jill, that follows her home. So follows her home and the drive home. And so at this point, her entire day is complete chaos. And she's got to blame it on someone. Who do you think she
Wow.
blames it on? She blames it on the job. She blames it on the kids. She blames it on school and her husband and the husband's job and
Yeah.
no support and you never helped me. And so then it just began even more chaos at night. And so she's not able to do
Yeah.
what truly meant to do, which is enjoy life, enjoy the time with her kiddos, enjoy, passionate time, quality time with her husband. And instead they're fighting, and she is putting her kids to bed with a lot of mom guilt. I know, like, mom guilt, right?
Get it.
And that's where it stems from. It's not the kids and it's not the husband and it's not the job,
No.
the mindset. It's all
Yes.
about the mindset.
Interesting. So we got to get focused. We got to get moving, and it's possible to change. I mean, you're living proof, right? I mean, you shared with me last time a little bit about your old mindset and how you've developed this new mindset clearly, and now you're helping others. So just could you share a little bit about what you went through to get here, if you don't mind, before we continue?
Yeah, absolutely. It's figuring out that what we're doing doesn't work, right? I mean, that's the bottom line, is that what we are doing, what doesn't work. So we got to figure out what does work. So let me just give you a really common struggle that a lot of us deal with is social anxiety or anxiety period. And being here today, like I said, 10 years ago, I would have laughed if you were been like, hey, you're going to be on a podcast with me on November 8th. And
What?
I'd be like, yeah, no way, because I had social anxiety. And when I'm talking social anxiety, I had severe social anxiety, like almost failing school because I wasn't showing up to school because of my
Wow.
social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So to be here as a public speaker, as a coach, as a podcast host, being on a guest on podcast, I love educating everyone on how I got here. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I got here. We have to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. And in
Mm-hmm.
order to do that, we must have the mindset that, hey, we will make it through this. And although our comfort zone is really comfortable, there is no growth there. So, as someone with severe social anxiety when I was younger, I could have stayed in my comfort zone. I could have stayed home. I could have
Yeah.
not sought opportunities as a nurse. I could have not sought opportunities after my nursing career because that was my comfort. But we got to grow. But in order to say, like, hey, I got to grow and I got to get out
Mm-hmm.
limiting this barrier, this challenge that I'm faced with, such as social anxiety, we have to say, I got to harness my mindset to do this. Because if you sit
Got
there and
it.
tell you can't do it, I can't do it because I have social anxiety. I could have said, I can't go to nursing school because I have social anxiety. That would have been so easy and it would have been a lot more comfortable, but I wouldn't be here today. And so I love teaching people exactly how to do that with all of their barriers, because that is where our true potential lies. We will never step into who we're truly meant to be if we're not able and willing to have the mindset that empowers us to step out of our comfort zone.
Beautiful. All right. So also let's talk a little bit about, moving on to if it doesn't work. Okay, yeah. Stop doing what doesn't work, right? And if someone out there really is so stuck or so unhappy, could you share a little bit about how we start fixing this?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what we're doing as a society doesn't work. And I know that's a really broad statement, right? But I have done a lot of research within my business and taking on this new career path and figuring out exactly how to make this big impact is what
Mm-hmm.
we're doing doesn't work.
Yep.
Going from 0 to 100,
Yep.
going from severe social anxiety to putting yourself on stage in front of 5,000 people is not going
Wow.
to work.
Mm-mm.
But what does work is working your way up to that. And so let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you, I'm going to give you a good example. I'll tell you about a client I was working with. And so like many of us, we have this goal of losing weight. And it just, listen, it is this thing that we focus on every day, all day long. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to
Yep.
lose weight. First of the year comes around. Speaking of, hey, we're in November. Are you going to be the one that has a New Year's resolution of losing weight? And then what we find a quick fix, right? Or we
Mm-hmm.
find a fix that's not necessarily quick, but it's what society teaches us we need to do. We got to go from eating really crappy to eating salads every single day, a 1,200 calorie diet from eating a lot more than that. Or we have to go from absolutely zero daily movement, no working out, nothing, to I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week for an hour. And
Yep.
so, how long is that
Ah,
sustainable?
not long.
It's not. It's
Right? I
not.
think we've all of us have done that, right?
All of us, and you can take it the other way around, right? Maybe you're really wanting to build muscle, and so you've never stepped foot into a gym. You have no idea how to use weights, and you're going to go in and tell yourself you have to lift weights for an hour. And so it just doesn't work. What we need to do, that is an identity. You have an identity that's been built on someone who doesn't eat great food, doesn't move their body, and has really no focus on why we need to be doing it. And so we are using small habit shifts to go from 0 to 5. When you go from 0 to 5, let's take my client, for example. She was that perfect person of
Yeah.
no exercise, no diet, no
Mm-hmm.
nutritional focus at all.
Yep.
And so I said to her, hey, we're going to put you on the salad in the 1 hour a day workout. She'd be like, okay, click, my coaching call's done. I no longer want that, right? But what we're going to do is what does work, which is taking her from 0 to 5. And 0 to 5 was, let's pay attention to how much water you're drinking this week. after we build that small habit, because that's totally doable, especially with accountability, which is why I have accountability as part of my coaching. We take her for the water habit is now built, and then we build on the next week. What is one additional change we can make this week? Well, she said, you know what? I've been eating out every single morning. I stop at Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's and eat something, right? And so we're going to be like, all right, we're going to have oatmeal before you leave for the day.
Hey.
Now we're 0 to 10. And so what happened over the course of 3 weeks? This wasn't even a long time, but 3 weeks, she had great habits that she had created, not me. I didn't create these for her. She created them. I held her accountable in the days that were a little bit challenging to refocus her, but she created them and she did them, and she lost 9 pounds in 3 weeks. And guess what? It's sustainable changes. It's not a 0 to 100. She may have gone from 0 to 50, but isn't 50% consistency is where you get your results. You don't get results going from 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 300.
No, not at all.
You don't.
All right, Trinity. So we're here talking to our mindset coach. Just remind us of the website, how we can contact you.
Absolutely. It's TheTrinityBaker.com, and you can find me as the Trinity Baker on all of our social media platforms as well.
Yeah. So I know you're passionate about helping people. You mentioned before in the last show about your journal. Could you share the importance of this and what you suggest for us?
You know what? Journaling was something I began teaching in my free 5-day training. It was something that I was doing personally. I knew that worked. I had tried many different journals, and I had found this structure using my mindset transformation hack that I teach in the free 5-day training. And I found the structure of journaling that goes along with it. And so what I did was create this journal for myself. I started using it, and then I started teaching it. Realizing was that it really wasn't clear exactly how to structure that. So I created this journal really just as a resource to the people coming into my free training, and it has just taken off. So it's a 5-day, it's a journal. It's called a gratitude journal, but really what it is a mindset transformation hack. So you take 3 to 5 minutes in the morning to set your intentions for the day. And then you take 3 to 5 minutes in the evening to debrief your day and let go of anything that happened.
Okay.
So that you're not bringing it to the next day.
True.
Why bring today's challenges to tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be full of challenges on its own. We don't need to bring what happened today to tomorrow.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, right.
You journal what? How many times a day you journal?
2 times a day. It's 2 times a day for
Okay.
3 to 5 minutes in the morning and 3 to 5 minutes at night.
And written somewhere, or?
Yeah, so the journal, I did create the journal. So you can purchase it on my website, which is TheTrinityBaker.com, but you can also do this on your own just to see how impactful this is. All right, you ready? It's 3 steps. 1, the question is, who are you giving grace to? Sometimes that's you. Sometimes that's someone else. Someone else cuts you off in traffic, you're going to give grace to them. If you're feeling a little bit down on yourself today, you're going to give grace to yourself.
Yeah.
And it allows you to stop beating yourself up and stop any of those resentful, angry feelings. And then the second step is gratitude. And listen, I can preach all day long on gratitude. Gratitude is the key to more to be grateful for. So, like, I want more money. I want a more fulfilling career. Well, then you best be practicing gratitude for the money you have and the career you have today, or the universe is never going to give you more to be grateful for. So gratitude is in there because it should be a daily, everyday, all day long practice. And it's really, again, Jill, it's about these five little 5% changes. And that's all we focus on is little changes. And then the last part of the journaling is celebration. What can you celebrate today? And the reason I put celebration in there is 2 things. 1, we don't celebrate anything other than birthdays, holidays. That's it. We're not celebrating the small little things that happen throughout the day. And so what happens when we don't celebrate all of the daily wins? We don't have the motivation.
No.
We have the motivation to continue, right? It's crazy. So it's so impactful. Grace, gratitude, and celebration. So you can do that on your own. You can go purchase the journal. So it's super easy and quick. You just fill in the box. But it's really impactful, and it really is just a tremendous mindset shift when you begin to do this every morning and every night. What happens is you bring it through your daily practices. So in your mind, you may be like, okay, I need to give grace to this person right now.
Yeah.
I need to be grateful that, yeah, my car my battery might have died this morning, but I have a car. And so it's just a mindset shift that is so simple and really easy to learn.
All right. Well, your positive impact obviously works, and you are a living proof of that. Uh, you want to share another challenge that you've overcome, with this type of mindset thinking?
Yeah, for sure. I've experienced a lot of loss personally over many, many years of my life, right from when I was born to today, and continue to experience loss, and everyone does. And so one of the ways that I help my clients through experiencing loss is the way that I helped myself through experiencing loss, is that we know the circle of life, and we know life is going to happen. And so we can't control when someone that we love leaves us. We can't control when the person that we absolutely love and would die for leaves this earth. But what we can control is living on their legacy. In what way can we live on their legacy? And Jill, I learned this when I lost my best friend, who was my mom, at 25 years old. And so I lost, she was only 45 years old, very unexpected. And I'm going to be honest with you, this was a huge life challenge. I spent a year in depression and complete misery.
Wow.
And one day, I just said to myself, this is not what she would want. She was a bright, positive person. Listen, she'd walk into the room and you would feel her energy. So, living legacy. And that is exactly what I do today, is I live her legacy on. So I encourage listeners to think, when I experience sadness about loss, sadness is okay. But how can you use your mindset to flip that sadness to something that's going to empower you in your day? Because the sadness is not going to empower you. And that's not what the person that you've lost would want. And so it doesn't minimize the loss. It just allows you to embrace who that person truly was.
Wow. Beautifully said. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're almost out of time. My goodness. So we got to wrap up. Let's talk about transformation. Did you want to share something else before we go?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Transformation is possible for every single person.
Yep.
Every person on earth. If you do not have a mindset that supports you, and let's talk about that really quick. What is a mindset that supports you? It's easier to say, what's a mindset that doesn't support you? If you're feeling unhappy, stuck, angry, frustrated, resentful, anxiety, depression, all of those things, if you're feeling them, listen, super easy to get started. Free 5-day training. I'm so passionate about getting the message about the power of our mindsets to everyone that I offer free 5-day training. It's right on my website, thetrinitybaker.com. Go ahead, check it out. Sign up. It's a free 5-day training. It's 100% virtual and gets text right to you. How many texts do we receive every single day?
Oh my gosh, way too many. But yeah,
right. So we might as well start receiving something that's going to
positive. Exactly, not the negative.
Yes. So this training is super easy to do by anyone, and it really is just so impactful. So I encourage everyone listening, go and take it. It is so impactful, and you will not regret it.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. Trinity Baker, a pleasure to have you. One more time, the website?
Yes, it's thetrinitybaker.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Happy hump day, right? It's a Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of the day. And thank you for being so positive. We'll talk soon.
Yes,
bye-bye.
Thank you, Jill.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Homes for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.